Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is doing good, right? Today we are going to start with the last chapter of macroeconomics book, which is balance of payment. Children, this chapter is connected with the chapter done earlier, that is foreign exchange rate. Both the chapters together have a 6 marks weightage in the Cbse syllabus of +2. Now we are going to understand what is balance of payment. We all are very well aware that there is an exchange of foreign currency between countries, right? And this can obviously be done by the residents of one country and the residents of the other country. Whenever there is an exchange of foreign currency, be it in any form, then it has to be recorded to know whether there is a surplus of foreign exchange coming in or a deficit. For that, we make a statement known as the balance of payment statement. It is an accounting statement, children, which records very systematically all the economic transactions. I hope you know the meaning of economic transactions by now. All those transactions which are done bilaterally by the sale of goods and services or for a reason where the money is coming in and going out between the residents of one country and the rest of the world. Indians exporting or importing with the rest of the world, or any sort of transaction with which the foreign currency has an inflow and outflow. In order to understand this chapter a little more in detail, we need to understand what are these economic transactions which take place between countries and are recorded in the balance of payment account. The economic transactions are namely 4 types. 1, they are visible items, invisible items. Next is the unilateral transfers, and on the next page you have that capital transfers, which we are going to do it when I turn the page, right? So there are 4 transactions. I'm going to be explaining to you each transaction one by one. What do you understand by visible items? Visible items means all those items, right, which have a physical appearance. For example, goods. So basically it includes the import and export of goods alone. These are those items which can be touched, seen, measured, and normally they are only goods. The second type of economic transactions which take place are invisible items. When I say invisible items, it means all those items which cannot be seen physically but can be felt, can be their transactions have taken place, can be understood. They cannot be touched, they cannot be seen. They include banking, shipping, insurance, all sort of tertiary sector activities. See, if I am to export goods, let's say shoes, so वो हो गया invisible items. लेकिन जब मैंने shoes export करने मुझे shipping services चाहिए, तो वो होगी मेरी invisible items. Then you have unilateral transfers. Now what are unilateral transfers? As all of you know, unilateral, as the word goes, it's only one-sided. It takes place without any return. It does not involve any claim of repayment. It could be, the financial help got during the natural calamities. It could be scholarships from other countries, anything like that. The fourth one could be the capital transfers. I always tell you the word capital means it has to do something with the, assets or the liabilities. So capital transfers indicates those capital receipts and payments which are done between 2 countries. Let me tell you something very interesting and very important for you to know. All inflow of foreign exchange is recorded on the debit side. हमें goods से मतलब नहीं, हमें services से मतलब नहीं है, वो तो जा रहा है. लेकिन when we are recording the components of balance of payment, so we need the money part of it. So all inflows of foreign exchange are recorded on the credit side and all outflows are recorded on the debit side. Get that very clear. जब हम foreign currency pay कर रहे हैं, then it is on the debit side. When we record the inflow, it is on the credit side. Then you have 3 types of balance of payments, right? See, like you have in your accounting a balance sheet. This is more or less like that, but it is to do with foreign exchange. A balanced balance of payment would be, but obviously all receipts equal to all payment of foreign exchange. A surplus would be, I repeat, surplus है all receipts of foreign exchange more than all payments of foreign exchange. When I say a deficit, मतलब कम हो गया, all receipts less than all payments of foreign exchange. I repeat, there are three kinds of balance of payment. One, balanced balance of payment account. There is surplus balance of payment account and the deficit balance of payment account. We all very well understand, children, ये दोनों चीजें तो बहुत अच्छी है, right? इसका मतलब है कि maybe too many exports या जितना export हो रहा है उतना import. A deficit is a troublesome thing. Why? A deficit could put you into a financial situation with the rest of the world, or maybe you have to take out the reserves of foreign currency from inside. Maybe the foreign exchange rate may go up, and so on. In a nutshell, let us understand the features of balance of payment. One, it's a systematic record of all economic transactions, I just told you, between residents of a country and rest of the world. ये पहला feature है. Second, it includes four types of transactions, I just told you. So I'm just doing the summary of it. Visible items, invisible items, unilateral transfers and capital transfers. It is known as a flow concept. Why? Because it is over a period of time. It is recorded in an accounting year. When I say accounting year, it begins from April 1st of one year following to 31st March of the next year. Children, we have understood what is balance of payment. Now we need to understand another related concept called balance of trade. Let me tell you one thing, balance of trade is a concept which is a part of balance of payment. When I use the word trade, it means the difference between the goods which are exported and imported only. So it's basically the difference between the amount of visible items. Balance of trade is it's the first component of balance of payments. The formula for balance of trade is export of goods minus import of goods. Value of export of goods minus value of import of goods. There's a possibility that you may get a 1 mark numerical in this. It's a possibility of getting an MCQ also. Then you have three types of balance of trade. You may have a surplus balance of trade, you may have a deficit balance of trade, or you may have a balanced balance of trade. As the word goes, surplus balance of trade means when the exports of goods from one country are more than what it is importing into the country, importing only goods. Deficit, when the imports of goods are more than the export of goods. Or balance, all of you know, balance is when the export of goods is equal to the import of goods. You may also get the difference between balance of trade and balance of payment also. I shall upload some differences for you later on. They are even available in the book. Now coming to the most important part of the chapter, or rather the chapter in totality. The balance of payment consists of two accounts. One, a current account, and the second is the capital account. What is a current account? Right? The current account is the account which records all the transactions related to export of goods, import of goods and services, and unilateral transfers during a given period of time. And we all know that given period of time is 1 year. Children, let me tell you something interesting. Current matlab, it does not affect the assets or liabilities. मैंने आपको पहले भी कहा, there are 4 transactions. Just keep this in mind. There are 4 economic transactions. One is export of goods, import of goods, unilateral transfers and capital transfers. उनमें से 3 transfers जो होती है वो current account में होती है. और वो 3 कौन सी है? Export of goods, import of goods and services and unilateral transfers. And they do not affect the assets or liabilities of the country, not individual. What is a capital account, children, then? A capital account is basically that account within the balance of payment account which records all the capital exchanges. जब मैं capital कहती हूँ means those are those transactions which affect the assets or the liabilities of the residents of a country. I repeat, which affect the assets or liabilities of the residents of a country. they are recorded in the capital account. I hope that's very clear to you children. So चारों economic transactions इन दोनों accounts में हमने discuss किया. Let us go a little more in detail in understanding what are the components of a current account. Children, this is a long answer for maybe 3 to 4 marks. It's an individual question every point. You may get application questions asking you to identify a component given to you, whether it is a current account transaction or a capital account transaction. So you must know these topics because पूरा chapter इसी पर निर्भर है. What are the components of current account? There are 3 main components as I told you. Export and import of goods. इसे हम कहते हैं merchandise transactions. इसे हम visible trade भी कहते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि मैंने पहले आपको समझाया था एक्सपोर्ट और इंपोर्ट गुड्स की जब हम करते हैं हमें नजर आती है. मैंने कपड़ा भेजा, मैंने मशीन मंगाई, मैंने शूज भेजे, मैंने व्हाट यू से प्लांट एंड मशीनरी लेट्स से टूल्स मंगाए वहां से. आई कैन विजुअली सी ऑल दीज गुड्स. नाउ दीज आर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ गुड्स. whenever you are making payments for the import of goods, they are recorded on the debit side because it is an outflow. पैसा फॉरेन एक्सचेंज हमारी कंट्री से बाहर जा रहा है. Whenever you are exporting goods, so what is happening to the money? Foreign exchange, it's coming in. So it is recorded on the credit side positive. Positive मतलब addition to the foreign exchange. The second is export and import of services. When I say services, it means invisible trade. It includes many types of non-factor services purchased by residents of a country. For example, we purchase shipping services. मैंने import किए shoes, तो कंटेनर भरकर शूज आ रहा है, तो उस कंटेनर को मैंने फ्रेट देना है. So that is my shipping expenses. Banking, मैंने लोन लिया हुआ है, I have to pay. I have taken insurance for the transit of my goods. Then whenever you are making payments for any sort of import of services, they are recorded on the debit side, and whenever you are receiving any money for any foreign currency for the export of services, then it is recorded on the credit side, that is the positive side. Coming to the third one, which is unilateral or unrequisited transfers to and from abroad. See, we normally between countries exchange gifts. We give a lot of donations, we receive a lot of donations. There are personal remittances. Remittances matlab transfers. Let's say you go abroad and settle down, you're sending money to your parents. Or you are going abroad to study, your parents are sending you money for your daily expenses. Then they are remittances. They are one-way transactions. अगर हम यूनिलैटरल ट्रांसफर्स रिसीव कर रहे हैं, मान लो स्कॉलरशिप मिल गई तुम्हें यूएसए की यूनिवर्सिटी से तुम्हें स्कॉलरशिप मिल रही है, तो वो यूनिलैटरल ट्रांसफर रिसीव कर रहे हो, तो वो आएगा तुम्हारा क्रेडिट साइड, राइट, बिकॉज देयर इज एन इनफ्लो ऑफ फॉरेन एक्सचेंज. बट अगर मान लो तुम एक इंडियन यूनिवर्सिटी किसी फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटी वाले कोई फॉरेन बच्चे को स्कॉलरशिप दे रही है, then it is payment, then it is recorded on the debit side. In a nutshell, children, there are 3 components of current account: export and import of goods, which is also known as balance of trade, export and import of services, and unilateral or unrequisited transfers to and from abroad. There is a small concept which you need to know also, which can be another source of transfer in current account, which is income received and paid to and from abroad. When I use the word income, this is not going to affect your assets and liabilities, but the income could be in the form of interest, rent, or profits. For example, I have a house in USA, and let us say I'm getting rent from that particular house in USA. Then that is income received in the form of rent. It has not affected my assets and liabilities. Hence, it is a component of current account. There can be 3 types of current accounts, children: a balanced current account, a surplus current account, and a deficit current account. What is a balanced current account? When the net value of credit items, मतलब जितना फॉरेन एक्सचेंज आई है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ करंट अकाउंट माइनस जितना हमने यहाँ से पे किया है. So the net value of credit and debit balances of current account is known as the balance on current account. What is a surplus? But obviously when the credit side items in totality are more than the debit side items in totality of the current account, then they are known as net inflow of foreign currency is more. So it is a surplus. What is the deficit current account, children? When the net debit side items, मतलब जो हमारे कंट्री से गया है फॉरेन करेंसी के रूप में वो ज्यादा है as compared to what is coming into the country. So the net outflow of foreign exchange is more. It indicates more of foreign currency moving out of the country rather than coming into the country.